Curtis James Jackson III, known professionally as 50 Cent, is an American rapper, actor, and businessman. Born in the South Jamaica neighborhood of Queens, Jackson began pursuing a musical career in 2000, when he produced Power of the Dollar for Columbia Records. However, days before the planned release, he was shot, and the album was never released. In 2002, after 50 Cent released the mixtape Guess Who's Back, he was discovered by Eminem and signed to Shady Records, under the aegis of Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment and Interscope Records. His first major label album Get Rich or Die Tryin' was a huge commercial success. The album spawned the Billboard Hot 100 #1 singles Into Club and 21 Questions, and was certified 9 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America. That same year, he founded G-Unit Records, signing his G-Unit associates Young Buck, Lloyd Banks, and Tony Yayo, prior to becoming the de facto leader of the East Coast hip-hop group G-Unit. 50 Cent had similar commercial and critical success with his second album, The Massacre, which contained the single Candy Shop. He underwent musical changes by his fifth album, Animal Ambition, and is currently working on his sixth studio album. He executive produced and starred in the television series Power and is slated to produce its spin-offs. 50 Cent has sold over 30 million albums worldwide and won several awards, including a Grammy Award, a Primetime Emmy Award, 13 Billboard Music Awards, 6 World Music Awards, 3 American Music Awards and 4 BET Awards. As an actor, Jackson appeared in the semi-autobiographical film Get Rich or Die Tryin', the war film Home of the Brave, and the crime thriller film Righteous Kill. 50 Cent was ranked the 6th best artist of the 2000s and the 3rd best rapper by Billboard. Rolling Stone ranked Get Rich or Die Tryin' and Into Club in its lists of the 100 best albums of the 2000s and 100 best songs of the 2000s at numbers 37 and 13, respectively. Early life. Jackson was born in the borough of Queens, New York City, and raised in its South Jamaica neighborhood by his mother Sabrina. A drug dealer, Sabrina raised Jackson until she died in a fire when Jackson was 8. Jackson revealed in an interview that his mother was a lesbian. After his mother's death and his father's departure, Jackson was raised by his grandparents. He began boxing at about age 11, and when he was 14, a neighbor opened a boxing gym for local youth. When I wasn't killing time in school, I was sparring in the gym or selling crack on the strip, Jackson remembered. He sold crack during primary school. I was competitive in the ring and hip-hop is competitive too. I think rappers condition themselves like boxers, so they all kind of feel like they're the champ. At age 12, Jackson began dealing narcotics when his grandparents thought he was in after-school programs, and brought guns and drug money to school. In the 10th grade, he was caught by metal detectors at Andrew Jackson High School. I was embarrassed that I got arrested like that. After I got arrested I stopped hiding it. I was telling my grandmother, I sell drugs. On June 29, 1994, Jackson was arrested for selling 4 vials of cocaine to an undercover police officer. He was arrested again 3 weeks later, when police searched his home and found heroin, 10 ounces of crack cocaine, and a starting pistol. Although Jackson was sentenced to 3 to 9 years in prison, he served 6 months in a boot camp and earned his GED. He has said that he did not use cocaine himself. Jackson adopted the nickname 50 Cent as a metaphor for change. The name was inspired by Kelvin Martin, a 1980s Brooklyn robber known as 50 Cent. Jackson chose it because it says everything I wanted to say. I'm the same kind of person 50 Cent was. I provide for myself by any means. Career 1996–2002, rise to fame, shooting, and early mixtapes. Jackson began rapping in a friend's basement, where he used turntables to record over instrumentals. In 1996, a friend introduced him to Jam Master Jay of Run DMC, who was establishing Jam Master Jay Records. Jay taught him how to count bars, write choruses, structure songs, and make records. Jackson's first appearance was on React with Onyx, for their 1998 album Shut 'Em Down. He credited Jam Master Jay for improving his ability to write hooks, and Jay produced Jackson's first album. In 1999, after Jackson left Jam Master Jay, the platinum-selling producer's Track Masters signed him to Columbia Records. They sent him to an upstate New York studio, where he produced 36 songs in 2 weeks. 18 were included on his 2000 album, Power of the Dollar. Jackson founded Hollow Point Entertainment with former G-Unit member Bang M. Smith. Jackson's popularity began to grow after the successful, controversial underground single How to Rob, which he wrote in a half-hour car ride to a studio. The track comically describes how he would rob famous artists. Jackson explained the song's rationale: "There's 100 artists on that label, you gotta separate yourself from that group and make yourself relevant." Rappers Jay-Z, Corrupt, Sticky Fingers, Big Pun, DMX, Wyclef Jean, and the Wu-Tang Clan responded to the track, and Nas invited Jackson to join him on his Nostradamus tour. Although How to Rob was intended to be released with Thug Love, 2 days before he was scheduled to film the Thug Love music video, Jackson was shot and hospitalized. On May 24, 2000, Jackson was attacked by a gunman outside his grandmother's former home in South Jamaica. After getting into a friend's car, he was asked to return to the house to get some jewelry. His son was in the house, and his grandmother was in the front yard. Jackson returned to the back seat of the car, and another car pulled up nearby. An assailant walked up and fired 9 shots at close range with a 9mm handgun. Jackson was shot in the hand, arm, hip, both legs, chest, and left cheek. His facial wound resulted in a swollen tongue, the loss of a wisdom tooth and a slightly slurred voice. His friend was wounded in the hand. They were driven to a hospital, where Jackson spent 13 days. The alleged attacker, Daryl Baum, Mike Tyson's close friend and bodyguard, was killed 3 weeks later. Jackson recalled the shooting: "It happened so fast that you don't even get a chance to shoot back. I was scared the whole time. I was looking in the rearview mirror like, oh shit, somebody shot me in the face. It burns, burns, burns." In his autobiography, From Pieces to Weight, Once Upon a Time in Southside Queens, he wrote, "After I got shot 9 times at close range and didn't die, I started to think that I must have a purpose in life. How much more damage could that shell have done? Give me an inch in this direction or that one, and I'm gone." Jackson used a walker for 6 weeks and fully recovered after 5 months. When he left the hospital, he stayed in the Poconos with his girlfriend and son, and his workout regime helped him develop a muscular physique. In the hospital, Jackson signed a publishing deal with Columbia Records before he was dropped from the label and blacklisted by the recording industry because of his song, Ghetto Churan. Unable to work in a U.S. studio, he went to Canada. With business partner Shamoney XL, Jackson recorded over 30 songs for mixtapes to build a reputation. In a Headquarters interview, Mark LaBelle of Shady Records A&R said that Jackson used the mixtape circuit to his advantage. He took all the hottest beats from every artist and flipped them with better hooks. They then got into all the markets on the mixtapes, and all the mixtape DJs were messing with them. Jackson's popularity increased, and in 2002 he released the mixtape Guess Who's Back. He then released 50 Cent Is the Future backed by G-Unit, a mixtape revisiting material by Jay-Z and Raphael Saadiq. 2002-2007, Mainstream Breakthrough, I Get Rich or Die Tryin' / and I the Massacre / I. None. 2007-2010, I Curtis / I, Sales Battle with Kanye West, and I Before I Self-Destruct/I. None. 2010-2015, New Musical Directions, New Business Ventures, and I Animal Ambition/I. None. 2015-present, I Street King Immortal/I, Bankruptcy, and Departure from Interscope. None. Artistry. Jackson cites Boogie Down Productions, Big Daddy Kane, The Juice Crew, EPMD, and KRS-One as his rapping influences, while citing LL Cool J as an inspiration behind his writing of 21 Questions. Jackson also states that he drew influences from Nas, Rakim, and the Notorious B.I.G. while working on Animal Ambition. Business ventures. Jackson has had a highly successful business career. He is financially invested in a highly diversified variety of industries. Jackson is now involved in artist and talent management, record, television, and film production, footwear, apparel, fragrances, liquor, video games, mobile apps, book publishing, headphones, along with health drinks and dietary supplements. His broad business and investment portfolio contains investments in a variety of sectors including real estate, financial market investments, mining, boxing promotion, vodka, fragrances, consumer electronics, and fashion. He established his own record label G Unit Records in 2003 following his mainstream success. In November 2003, he signed a 5-year deal with Reebok to distribute a G Unit sneakers line for his G Unit clothing company. In an interview, Jackson said his businesses had a habit of doing well as he saw all of his ventures both past and present as revolving around his alter ego. Jackson has also started a book publishing imprint, G Unit Books, on January 4, 2007, at the Time Warner Building in New York. He has written a number of books including a memoir, From Pieces to Weight in 2005 where it sold 73,000 copies in hardcover and 14,000 copies in paperback, a crime novel, and a book with Robert Greene titled The 50th Law, an urban take on the 48 Laws of Power. In November 2011, Jackson released 50 Cent's Playground, a young adult fiction novel about a bullied, violent boy and his gay mother. One of Jackson's first business ventures was a partnership with Glacier to create an enhanced water drink called Formula 50. In October 2004, Jackson became a beverage investor when he was given a minority share in the company in exchange for becoming a spokesperson after learning that he was a fan of the beverage. The health-conscious Jackson noted that he first learned of the product while at a gym in Los Angeles, and stated that they do such a good job making water taste good. After becoming a minority shareholder and celebrity spokesperson, Jackson worked with the company to create a new grape-flavored Formula 50 variant of vitamin water and mentioned the drinks in various songs and interviews. In 2007, Coca-Cola purchased Glacier for $4.1 billion and, according to Forbes, Jackson, who was a minority shareholder, earned $100 million from the deal after taxes. Though he no longer has an equity stake in the company, Jackson continues to act as a spokesperson for vitamin water, supporting the product, including singing about it at the BET Awards and expressing his excitement over the company's continuing to allow his input on products. He joined Right Guard to introduce a body spray and endorsed Magic Stick condoms, planning to donate part of their proceeds to increasing HIV awareness. Jackson signed a multi-year deal with Steiner Sports to sell his memorabilia, and announced plans for a dietary supplement company in conjunction with his film Spectacular Regret in August 2007. Jackson has founded 2 film production companies, G Unit Films in 2003 and Cheetah Vision in 2008. Cheetah Vision produces low-budget action thrillers for foreign film markets across the world. When G Unit Films folded, he focused on Cheetah Vision and the company obtained $200 million in funding in 2010. In 2010, Jackson revived G Unit Films, renaming the company to G-Unit Films and Television Inc. The company has joint ventures with Will Packer's production company Will Packer Productions and Universal Television. In over 18 months, Jackson has sold projects to 6 different networks. Among them was Power, a Starz drama in which he not only co-stars but also serves as co-creator and executive producer. Power debuted in June 2014 and was renewed for a second season after one episode. Jackson serves as a co-star, co-creator and executive television producer of the Starz network drama, where he signed a 2-year contract with representation coming from the Agency for the Performing Arts. Ratings have been a success for Starz, with the second season premiere being the highest ever season with 1.43 million people tuning in live. Power ended in 2020. Jackson is the executive producer of 3 of its spin-offs: Power Book 2, Ghost, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, and Power Book 4, Force. In 2002, Jackson filed an application with the United States Patent and Trademark Office to register the term 50 Cent as a trademark for clothing, sound recordings, and live performances. The application was published in 2003, and registration issued in 2004. He has since filed for additional trademark registrations. In July 2011, Jackson launched a philanthropic initiative to provide food for 1 billion starving people in Africa by 2016, joining Pure Growth Partners to introduce Street King. A portion of the proceeds from each Street King purchase would be used to provide a daily meal to an underprivileged child. The partnership coincides with Jackson's goal to feed 1 billion people in Africa during the next 5 years. 50 Cent and I share a common vision: to address the world's problems through smart and sustainable business models, said Chris Clark, founder and CEO of Pure Growth Partners. With the rampant starvation in Africa and hunger afflicting children worldwide, we need socially responsible businesses that affect real change now more than ever. Jackson said, "I'm inspired by Clark's vision and innovative approaches to tackling serious issues. It's our mission with Street King to really change children's lives around the world." In 2011, he founded SMS Audio, a consumer electronics company selling Street by 50 headphones, pledging to donate a portion of their sales to charity. In April 2015, SMS announced new CO branding deals with Reebok and Marvel. It added those to existing partnerships with Walt Disney Parks, Lucasfilm Star Wars, and Intel. In 2014, Jackson became a minority shareholder in If and Vodka, a brand of vodka produced in the Netherlands, when he invested undisclosed amount in the company Sire Spirits LLC. He currently endorses the product via his live concert performances and social media. The rapper was asked to take part in 2 promotional bottle signings, one in Oak Creek and another in Sun Prairie. Jackson made an appearance at Liquor Warehouse in Syracuse, New York on April 25, 2015, where he reportedly sold 1,400 bottles of Jackson's signature liquor brand. Liquor Warehouse's owner George Angeloro reportedly stocked 300 cases of If and Vodka, which sells for $30 a bottle, prior to the event. In December 2014, Jackson signed a $78 million deal with Frigo Revolution Wear, a luxury underwear brand. The joint venture is partnered between Jackson, basketball player Carmelo Anthony, baseball player Derek Jeter, and Matthias Ingvarsson, the former president of mattress company Tempur-Pedic. Jackson became the chief fashion designer for the brand's single pair of Frigo boxers. In April 2015, Jackson mulled investing in Jamaica, exploring foreign investment opportunities on the island when he met with some local officials and had ongoing discussions on investment opportunities in the Montego Bay resort area. Investments. Over the years, Jackson invested his earnings from music and celebrity endorsements in an array of privately controlled companies, real estate, and stocks and bonds. A portion of his investments lost value during the 2008 recession. In December 2008, he told the Canadian press that he had been affected by the recession, losing several $1 million in the stock market. Unable to sell his Connecticut mansion, Jackson postponed before I self-destruct due to the severity of the economic downturn. His Farmington mansion located on 50 Poplar Hill Drive that he tried to sell for years filed for bankruptcy in Connecticut in 2015, listed an asking price for that property in 2012 at $10 million but was valued at $8.3 million in 2015. He first tried to sell the house in 2007 for $18.5 million, and dropped the price several times in the next 5 years, when it was on and off the market. In January 2011, Jackson reportedly made $10 million after using Twitter to promote a marketing company which he was part shareholder of. His endorsements company G-Unit Brands Incorporated revealed through a public SEC filing controls 12.9% of H&H Imports, which is a parent company of TV Goods, the firm responsible for marketing his range of headphones. Sleek by 50 Cent. Jackson bought stock in the company on November 30, 2010, a week after it offered buyers 180 million shares at 17 cents each. Jackson later made a stock recommendation on Twitter, causing its share value to rise from 4 cents to nearly 50 cents each, closing on Monday at 39 cents. Jackson was later investigated by the Securities and Exchange Commission for breaching securities laws following his tweet, which may have constituted allegations of insider trading via his pump and dump stock investment strategy. In 2013, Jackson became a minority investor in Hang-W/, a live video broadcasting mobile app used by dozens of celebrities to broadcast their daily activities and chat with fans. The app was downloaded more than 1 million times since its launch in March 2013 and had more than 1 million users as of February 2015. Other minority celebrity investors include former NFL player Terrell Owens and record producer Timbaland. Mining and heavy metals. In 2008, Jackson visited a platinum, palladium, and iridium mine shaft in South Africa, and met with South African billionaire Patrice Motsepe in talks of purchasing an equity stake in the mine. After his meeting with Motsepe, Jackson considered purchasing equity in the mine and launching his own line of 50 Cent branded platinum boxing promotion. On July 21, 2012, Jackson became a licensed boxing promoter when he formed his new company, TMT. Licensed to promote in New York, he was in the process of being licensed in Nevada. A former amateur boxer, Jackson signed gold medalist and former featherweight champion Yuriorkis Gamboa and middleweight Olympic medalist Andre Dirrell. On July 29, 2012, he and the boxer Floyd Mayweather, Jr., signed IBF featherweight champion Billy Dibb. They unveiled plans to challenge the box office dominance of mixed martial arts and change the landscape of boxing with TMT promotions. Boxer Zab Judah also expressed interest in making a deal with Jackson. In December 2012, Mayweather and Jackson parted company, with Jackson taking over the promotion company and founding SMS Promotions with Gamboa, Dirrell, Dibb, James Kirkland, Luis Olivares and Dante Strayhorn in his stable. Bankruptcy. Corporate positions. G-Unity Foundation Incorporated founder. SMS Audio CEO, founder. SK Energy founder. SMS Promotions CEO, founder. Sire Spirits owner. Ifan Vodka former minority shareholder. Personal life. On October 13, 1996, Jackson's girlfriend, Shaniqua Tompkins, gave birth to son Marquise. Tompkins later sued Jackson for $50 million in 2009, saying he promised to take care of her for life. The suit, with 15 causes of action, was dismissed by a judge who called it an unfortunate tale of a love relationship gone sour. The two have bickered for years, and have even taken their feud to social media many times. Marquise's birth changed Jackson's outlook on life. When my son came into my life, my priorities changed, because I wanted to have the relationship with him that I didn't have with my father. He credited his son for inspiring his career and being the motivation to go in a different direction. Despite this, the two have endured a fractured relationship that began when Jackson and Tompkins separated in 2008. Their feud has been taken to social media numerous times, including in 2020 when Jackson disclosed that he used to love his son. Jackson has a tattooed Marquise with an axe on his right biceps, and has 50, Southside and Cold World on his back. I'm a product of that environment. It's on my back, though, so it's all behind me. Jackson dated model Daphne Joy and had his second son, Sire Jackson, with her, on September 1, 2012. At the age of 2 years, Sire modeled for Kids Safe, a headphone brand for kids, earning $700,000 through his contract. In 2005, Jackson supported President George W. Bush after rapper Kanye West criticized Bush for a slow response to the victims of Hurricane Katrina. If his felony convictions did not prevent him from voting, he said, he would have voted for the president. Jackson later said that Bush has less compassion than the average human. By all means, I don't aspire to be like George Bush. In September 2007, he told Time that although he would not endorse a candidate in 2008, he liked Hillary. 6 months later, the rapper told MTV News that he had switched his support to Barack Obama after hearing him speak, but had lost interest in politics. Asked his opinion of President Obama's May 9, 2012 endorsement of gay marriage, Jackson said, "I'm for it. I've encouraged same-sex activities. I've engaged in fetish areas a couple times." He had been criticized for anti-gay comments in the past. Despite having numerous songs that reference drug and alcohol usage, Jackson remains teetotal, citing a bad experience with alcohol as his main reason. Forbes noted Jackson's wealth in 2007, ranking him second behind Jay-Z in the rap industry. He lived in a Farmington, Connecticut mansion formerly owned by ex-boxer Mike Tyson. Jackson listed the mansion for sale in 2007 at $18.5 million to move closer to his son. The mayor of Bridgeport, Connecticut declared October 12, 2007 50 Cent Curtis Jackson Day, honoring the rapper with a proclamation and a key to the city. One of Jackson's New York homes, purchased in January 2007 for $2.4 million and the center of a lawsuit between Jackson and Shaniqua Tompkins, caught fire on May 31, 2008, while he was filming in Louisiana. In December 2008, he told the Canadian press that he had lost several $1 million in the stock market and, unable to sell his Connecticut mansion, had postponed before I self-destruct because of the economic downturn. Jackson won a lawsuit in November 2009 against Taco Bell over the fast food chain's use of his name without permission. Jackson endorsed Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton in the run-up for the 2016 U.S. presidential election. He rejected an offer of $500,000 from the Trump campaign to make an appearance on the candidate's behalf. However, he endorsed Donald Trump in 2020, due to his dislike of Joe Biden's tax plans. A week later, he retracted his endorsement, saying on Twitter *K Donald Trump, I never liked him, and endorsed Biden. In October 2020, Jackson was honored by Haute Living, along with Watches of Switzerland, in a celebratory affair that included a signature piece of artwork given to him by Jojo Ann Avim, a hip-hop style violin performance by Edward W. Hardy and Inicio Parfez Prives, gifting Jackson a bottle of Oud for Greatness. Jeffrey Hirsch, Aldous Hodge, and Alicia Quarles were among the guests congratulating Jackson on all of his accomplishments. Legal issues. On June 29, 1994, Jackson was arrested for selling 4 vials of cocaine to an undercover police officer. He was arrested again 3 weeks later, when police searched his home and found heroin, 10 ounces of crack cocaine and a starter's pistol. Although Jackson was sentenced to 3 to 9 years in prison, he served 6 months in a boot camp. According to him, he did not use cocaine. Jackson and 4 members of his entourage were arrested shortly before 2 a.m. on December 31, 2002, when police found a .25 caliber handgun and a .45 caliber pistol in a parked car outside a Manhattan nightclub. The rapper was charged with 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. Jackson was sentenced to 2 years probation on July 22, 2005, for a May 2004 incident, when he was charged with 3 counts of assault and battery after jumping into an audience when he was hit by a water bottle. Lawsuits. Use of image. Use of name. Janitor incident. Bamba sample. Other civil and criminal matters. One of his New York homes, purchased for $2.4 million in January 2007 and the center of a lawsuit between Jackson and Shaniqua Tompkins, caught fire on May 30, 2008, while he was filming in Louisiana. On August 5, 2013, Jackson pleaded not guilty to 1 count of domestic violence and 4 counts of vandalism in a Los Angeles County court. If convicted of all charges, he faced up to 5 years in prison and a $46,000 fine. Model actress Daphne Joy accused Jackson of kicking her and ransacking her bedroom during an argument at her condominium in the Toluca Lake neighborhood of Los Angeles on June 23. He allegedly caused $7,100 in property damage, leaving the scene before police arrived. Judge Ann Nevins has ordered Jackson back to court because of Instagram messages he made over several months. She said Jackson was not fully clear about his funds and indicated posts of the rapper showing stacks of his money. In March 2016, Jackson claimed that he would no longer use Instagram, electing instead to have his profile page operated by someone else. In 2020, Jackson was a subject of controversy for his involvement in a viral video of him giving money to a Burger King restaurant in New York City on behalf of a local scammer who was later arrested and charged for Bitcoin scamming and for assaulting and kidnapping his victims on April 24, 2021. Feuds. Ja Rule. Before he signed with Interscope Records, Jackson engaged in a public dispute with rapper Ja Rule and his label, Murder Incorporated Records, saying that a friend robbed jewelry from Ja Rule and the latter accused him of orchestrating the robbery. Ja Rule said that the conflict stemmed from a Queen's video shoot, when Jackson did not like seeing him getting so much love from the neighborhood. At the Hit Factory in New York in March 2000, Jackson had an altercation with Murder Incorporated associates and received 3 stitches for a stab wound. Rapper Black Child claimed responsibility for the stabbing, saying that he acted in self-defense when he thought someone reached for a gun. An affidavit by an Internal Revenue Service agent suggested ties between Murder Incorporated and Kenneth Supreme McGriff, a New York drug lord suspected of involvement in the murder of Jam Master Jay and Jackson's shooting. An excerpt read. The investigation has uncovered a conspiracy involving McGriff and others to murder a rap artist who has released songs containing lyrics regarding McGriff's criminal activities. The rap artist was shot in 2000, survived and thereafter refused to cooperate with law enforcement regarding the shooting. Messages transmitted over the Murder Incorporated pager indicate that McGriff is involved in an ongoing plot to kill this rap artist, and that he communicates with Murder Incorporated employees concerning the target. The end of the Jackson-Ja Rule feud was confirmed in May 2011. According to Ja Rule, "I'm cool. We ain't beefing no more. We'll never collaborate. That's just what it is. You don't have to be at war with somebody, but it's also kind of like US and another country that they may not get along with. We don't gotta go to war, but we're not friends either. But we can coincide inside of a world. He's doing him, and he's not thinking about me, and I'm doing me and I'm not thinking about him. On August 7, 2015, the feud between the two rappers later reignited when Ja Rule gave a feedback to a social follower via Twitter over a similar feud between Meek Mill and Drake. Enraged, Jackson later responded with photos and comments via Instagram, only siding with Drake. The feud resurfaced 3 years later on January 19, 2018, when Ja Rule took to Twitter, calling out 50 Cent on social media. The Game. Although Jackson was close to The Game before the latter released his debut album, the documentary, they grew apart. After the documentary's release, Jackson felt that The Game was disloyal for saying that he did not want to participate in G-Unit's feuds with other rappers and his desire to work with artists with which G-Unit was feuding. He said that he wrote 6 songs for the album and did not receive proper credit, which The Game denied. Jackson later dismissed The Game from G-Unit on Hot 97. After the announcement, The Game tried to enter the building with his entourage. After they were denied entry, one of his associates was shot in the leg in a confrontation with a group of men leaving the building. When the situation escalated, the rappers held a joint press conference announcing their reconciliation, and fans were uncertain if the rappers had staged a publicity stunt to boost sales of their recently released albums. After the situation cooled, G-Unit criticized The Game's street credibility and announced that they would not appear on his albums. During a Summer Jam performance, The Game announced a boycott of G-Unit, which he called G-Unit. After the Summer Jam performance, The Game recorded 300 billion Argentine pesos and Runnin', an extended diss of G-Unit and Rockefeller Records, for the mixtape You Know What It Is Volume 3. Jackson responded with his Piggy Bank music video, with The Game as Mr. Potato Head and parodies of other rivals. They have continued attacking each other, with The Game releasing 2 more mixtapes, Ghost Unit and a mixtape DVD, Stop Snitchin', Stop Lyin'. Jackson superimposed The Game's head on the body of a male stripper for the cover of the Hate It or Love It mixtape in response to The Game's pictures of G-Unit dressed as the Village People. The Game, under contract to Aftermath Entertainment, signed with Geffen Records to terminate his contractual obligations with G-Unit. G-Unit member Spider LOC has insulted The Game in songs, and the latter released 240 billion Argentine pesos and 100 billion Argentine pesos attacking G-Unit and LOC. Jackson's response was "Not rich, still lyin'," mocking The Game. Lloyd Banks replied to The Game on a Rap City freestyle booth segment, followed by a Game diss song ridiculing the 13-position drop of Banks' album Rotten Apple on the Billboard 200 chart and its disappointing second-week sales. Banks replied on his mixtape Mo Money in the Bank PT5, Gang Green Season Continues with Showtime, said that Jackson wrote half of the documentary and ridiculed The Game's suicidal thoughts. In October 2006, The Game made a peace overture to Jackson, but 2 days later he said on Power 106 that the peace offer was valid for only 1 day. In several songs on Doctor's Advocate, he implied that the feud was over. He said in July 2009 that the feud had ended with help from Michael Jackson and Diddy, and apologized for his actions. According to Tony Yeo, neither Jackson nor G-Unit accepted his apology and The Game has resumed his calls for a G-Unit boycott at concerts. Jackson released So Disrespectful on Before I Self-Destruct, targeting Jay-Z, The Game, and Young Buck. The Game responded with Shake, poking fun at the music video for Jackson's Candy Shop. On January 2, 2015, The Game claimed that he and 50 were sworn enemies, promising never to reconcile with him anymore, but on August 1, 2016, they ended their 12-year feud when the two were in the Ace of Diamonds strip club and the Game said "I love 50, man. What happened? That shit was 12 years ago." In January 2022, the feud reiterated after 50 critiqued Game's Drink Champs interview with NORE, where he claimed that 50's former competitor Kanye West did more for me in 2 weeks than Dre did for me throughout my entire career. The Game responded, commenting that he enclosed the entirety of G-Unit as a group and clothing brand in a casket, also expressing his likeliness in the Power Television trilogy, but warning 50 to leave alone or else. "I'm outside number Numinati." Then, 2 months later, in March, 50 Cent published a video via Instagram of Game being shunned by former Interscope Records CEO Jimmy Iovine at a basketball game, poking fun of it while also commenting 50 wrote ya hits. The Game once again flamed 50 after the claims were brought back up and also bragged to "get girlfriend out of my DMs." This was believed to have been a consequential result of Game claiming on Drink Champs to be the best and a better rapper than Eminem, with whom 50 still remains close friends. Additionally, Game's manager, Wack 100, has subliminally called out or questioned 50 Cent's credibility, over the rapper's surprise appearance at the Super Bowl LVI halftime show and ghostwriting allegations. Cameron Jackson's issues with former diplomat Cameron began in 2007, when they had a live argument on the Angie Martinez show on Hot 97 Radio. Jackson commented that he felt that the music division of Cook Entertainment was a graveyard, meaning major record labels would not work with their artists. Cameron then ridiculed the record sales of G-Unit members Lloyd Banks and Mobb Deep by pointing out that Dipset member Jim Jones outsold both of their albums despite not being signed to a major label, and also went on to clarify that his group, the Diplomats, had a distribution deal from several labels. Both rappers released diss songs with videos on YouTube. Jackson released "Funeral Music," and suggested in the song that Cameron is no longer able to lead the Diplomats and that Jim Jones should take his place. Cameron responded with Curtis and Curtis PT2, in which he makes fun of not only Jackson's first name, but also his appearance, calling him a gorilla, with rabbit teeth. Jackson responded by releasing "Hold On" with Young Buck. Since 2009, the feud slowly died down, and they eventually reconciled in 2016. Rick Ross. Although Rick Ross began a feud with Jackson over an alleged incident at the 2008 Bet Hip Hop Awards, Jackson told news sources he did not remember seeing Ross there. Later that month, Ross Mafia music was leaked on the internet, with lyrics apparently disparaging Jackson. Several days later, Jackson released "Officer Ricky" in response to Mafia music. The following day, Ross appeared on Shade 45 and told Jackson to come up with something better in 24 hours. Before leaving for Venezuela, Jackson uploaded a video and the first of a series of Officer Ricky cartoons. In early February he uploaded a YouTube video in which he interviewed Tia, the mother of one of Ross' children. According to her, Ross is in reality a correctional officer. On February 5, 2009, the Game phoned Seattle radio station Cuba. Asked about the dispute between Jackson and Ross, he sided with Jackson and offered to mediate. Rick Ross, "Holla at your boy, man," and 50 eating you, boy. On his album Deeper Than Rap, Ross refers to Jackson in Cold Blood and Jackson's mock funeral as part of the song's video. When the song was released, Ross said that he ended Jackson's career. Rick Ross is Albert from CB4. "You ever seen the movie?" "He's Albert," Jackson replied in an interview. "It never gets worse than this. You get a guy that was a correctional officer come out and base his entire career on writing material from a drug dealer's perspective such as Freeway Ricky Ross." Their feud rekindled at the 2012 Bet Hip Hop Awards, where Jackson and G-Unit members Kid Kid, Mike Knox, Tony Yeo were seen on video attacking Gunplay. Gunplay's Maybach Music diamond necklace was stolen during the brawl, and several days later Jackson appeared at a Washington, D.C. bowling alley wearing Gunplay's chain. On January 30, 2013, Jackson tweeted that Ross' attempted drive-by shooting on his birthday 3 days earlier was staged. Awards and nominations. Discography. Studio albums. Get Rich or Die Tryin'. The Massacre. Curtis. Before I Self-Destruct. Animal Ambition collaborative albums. Beg for Mercy. TOS. Filmography. Film.